Did you know the average person spends 4 years of his life looking down at his cell phone? Kinda ironic, ain't it? How these touch screens can make us lose touch. But it's no wonder in a world filled with iMacs, iPads, and iPhones. So many eyes, so many selfies, not enough us's and we's. See, technology has made us more selfish and separate than ever. Cause while it claims to connect us, connection has gotten no better.
I'm so excited to have you on here. I'm gonna do a brief intro just in case you guys don't know who we're talking to today. It's Prince E. He is over 20 million YouTube views. Hey! Over 20 million YouTube views, of 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, social media out the wazoo, and it's all about finding a purpose and having something that drives you, that makes you passionate, and that you're super excited about. And what I really love about him is that he has content that's not only cool and interesting to watch, but it actually says something. And I think that has a lot to do with your purpose, right? So I'm gonna have you jump in and just kind of talk about yourself so the audience knows who we're dealing with here. And we will get started with our questions.
Mm-hmm. Very good, very good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. My name is Prince EA, or Prince E, whatever you want to, whatever fits your nature, or whatever you want to call it. I'm a content creator. That's kind of the umbrella that everything falls under. So I do everything from vlogging to spoken word pieces to short films. I'm a creator. And I create content that ultimately it's built upon the ground of a singular purpose. And that purpose is to galvanize the viewers to look within themselves and to pull out to find the potential that they have first in themselves, mm-hmm. and to pull out from that a peace, a love, a compassion, and to share that with others and create a beautiful world. That's what drives me. That's my purpose. And yeah, I've been doing hip hop. I started in hip hop about 8-9 years ago. Moved into more of I consider hip hop and rap rhythm and poetry, right? So I was always lyrically driven, but now I do more of it's more of a focus on lyrics as opposed to a focus on production, beats, and on instruments and all that. So yeah, that's my story. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, the Midwest.
All right.
Yeah, that's a brief intro for me.
I love it. So, okay, you said that you started with like hip hop is your thing, and you started this. I know we spoke a little bit earlier. You started this 9 years ago. So, what made you say because I know it's really trendy to, do content that's like popular, that like people would be drawn to, right? So what made you go, okay, I actually want to say something. Like I actually want to put out content where it's moving people to do something. What made you do that? Yeah.
It was because of the impact that hip hop had on me. I grew up, I was a very bad, I'm just going to tell you honestly, I wasn't a good student, very complacent. Only did things to really make my parents happy. I wasn't interested in school. Teachers wanted to hold me back. And it was only until I came into contact with hip hop, conscious hip hop, a lot of artists like, underground artists like Immortal Technique, Cannabis, Razcat, Public Enemy, these guys that had these amazing messages over these amazing instrumentals. And they talk about everything from geopolitics to metaphysics to science to religion. My young brain was like, all right, where do I start? I'm listening to these guys, and I'm in the library and I'm researching the words that they're saying. I remember one of my favorite artists, Cannabis, had a song called Poet Laureate, where he's like, one should not assume the philosophies of David Hume are nothing more than a subjective conclusion. What is the maximum field rate application, the runaway glaciation affecting the ocean basin? And I'm like, what did you just say? No! I'm researching and just learning, and they just inspired me. And I started to develop a passion for education in school. And then I wanted to create the things that they were creating. I wanted to allow somebody to have the effect that hip hop had on me. I wanted to give that to somebody else because unfortunately, we live in a world where it's a singular professor mind mentality where we talk about education. There's multiple levels of intelligences and different ways to get there. And me, I'm an auditory listener. I love music. And the reason I was a bad student was because it wasn't my language. You know, the chalk and talk teachers were using just wasn't my language. So I wanted to create content in a way that affects different people in different ways, especially the youth. I truly believe that the real way to change the world is really to focus on the youth, and that's kind of my main demo right now. So
that's awesome. So we have a question from Modern T. So he's asking, what was the first piece of content that you ever created?
I actually started out doing basketball videos. I was into like street ball. And but if you want to talk about musically, man, I don't even know. I do know actually. I was really into battle rap, and it was a diss. I was in high school and I was dissing this guy named Aaron Jones, and it was the first time I ever rapped. He was rapping, so I was like, let me start rapping and diss this guy because I don't think he should be rapping. So back then, obviously, I was very ego driven and this and that. I'm still probably have a little ego. I don't tell anybody, but I was it was a battle rap diss. Actually, I still love battle rap. I love the culture. I think battle rappers are so clever in the way that they use their words and creativity. So it's a fun sport, I guess you could say. So that was the first piece of content that I ever created, and I think I rapped over Nas's Ether. Yeah.
Do you remember it?
No, heck no. Not at all.
I was gonna put you on the spot just a little bit.
Yeah. I think I remember a line. Oh God. Okay, so the kid's name was Aaron, and battle rap is it's a lot of wordplay, and I said something like something. I'm running errand, like I got something to do, like a play on the word, and running an errand and running errand, like whatever. Yeah. So
it's fine. I get it.
Okay, good.
So, question. When did you start to create? Because I know when I saw the boost in your content and when all of a sudden you started getting these exponential numbers in terms of viewership is when it started becoming super stylized and super creative. And as a former music video director, like I know that is something that people connect to when they see like very strong visuals. So what made you say, okay, I'm going to stop with the talking heads in front of the screen. And I'm going to start making this content like super stylized and just really interesting to watch.
Wow. That was, I was always interested in doing things that nobody else had done, talking about things that nobody else was talking about. The first video that probably took off was a video I did called Backwards Rappers. I don't know if you saw that one, but it's kind of like the word is a palindrome where, so the lyrics, they say one thing. You probably seen this, a viral poem, but I was pretty much the first one to do a rap where the lyrics go, they say one thing the regular way, and then I take it back and I say something totally opposite. So I was very negative the first way, and then very positive. And very difficult to explain. You got to check it out. It's called Backwards Rappers, and that video did some pretty crazy numbers. I think over 1 million actually, and I was so excited. So, but as far as spoken word goes, I think the first video that took off was Why I Think the World Should End.
Right.
Very simple. Yeah, I just love. I was always doing like freestyle videos, and even when I was rapping, freestyle videos in front of epic backgrounds. I love film. I love aesthetic shots, and so Why I Think the World Should End was, anybody who's seen that one, that was actually done in St. Louis, shot in front of the most insane, just terrible, just broken down building that I saw in the city, and it's still that there is probably my favorite video that I've ever done.
Yeah.
So
It's fresh. Like that's the one we highlighted. And I think it's interesting too, because when things are like dilapidated and like falling apart, like that makes the best art. Like it looks interesting. It's super interesting to view. And I think that to me, that was like the trigger that I was like, oh, this is pretty fresh. Like I think that this dude has got a lot going on. And then I started to watch more of your content and I was like, man, like your whole style, just the way that it looks in terms of like the music video aesthetic, I think is what, for me personally, what drew me to you. So I have a question. Like, when do you think that you knew what your purpose was, like specifically? Because I know a lot of people are taking these jobs and like, I have to make money and I have to get through XYZ, I have to pay these bills. Like, when did you know, like, all right, I'm not taking another job, I'm not doing anything I don't want to do, like I am only specifically focusing on getting this to be a big thing for me?
Yeah, wow. That makes me think, Denzel Washington said something very very powerful. He said you gotta do what you gotta do till you can do what you want to do. And after school, after I graduated from college, I studied anthropology. I had been rapping years before then. I wasn't where I wanted to be in my career, and I had a little following. I was okay. I was well, decently known in circles. I've been in Vibe magazine. I performed with Ludacris, and but I wasn't happy. I wasn't where I wanted to. Well, I thought I should be. So I actually stopped. I took a break from everything, and I began to kind of take the journey within. A spiritual journey, you could say. Now, when I say spiritual journey, I don't mean I climbed the Himalayan mountains, meditated with the Dalai Lama. What I mean is I just tried to understand me. If I want to know what's going to make me happy, then I should probably know who I am first.
Right.
Who is it which is made happy? Right. So, just learning about my mind, my thoughts, and just being happy where I was, not really resisting. Okay, I need to be this. I'm preparing myself. Okay, I need to be on that person's level. That just creates so much suffering. So just being comfortable with where I am now, the purpose came out of that.
Okay.
Death was a big motivator as well. I tell people all the time, I ask people, if you have 5 years to live, what are you going to do from this moment on? You have 5 months to live. What are you going to do from this moment on? You have 5 weeks, 5 days. What are you going? 5 minutes? Are you doing what you want to do right now? When we realize the power of death, it's really the greatest teacher of how to live. And so keeping that in mind, that's what led me to create what I create and to enjoy the freshness of this moment that we're in right now, the beautiful nature of this interview with you right now.
Thanks. So how did you grow your following? Because like you have this massive following on YouTube, over 500,000 subscribers, 20 million viewers who've seen your work. How did you grow it on Twitter, Facebook? Because you're pretty popular across the social media spectrum. So how did you grow that to the point at where you're at now?
Yeah, I think it's, you got to do the basics, but it's just learning about what content people want to see, what content is shareable, shareability, virality. What goes? I've studied this for many years, and my goal actually this year is to create something that gets 1 billion views, one video. Like I think overall on the Facebook platform and YouTube last year, I got 500 million with a B.
Wow.
Views. And I say that not to impress people, but to impress upon you that when you create things that really come from the heart, you reach the heart, and people come to you. Every interview, every opportunity that I never went at it. People have come to me, and it's so beautiful when you can operate from that space. So it was first operating from a space that was true to me and creating content, and also not only just me being this way, but also looking at what people want to see. What are the trends, and framing the content that I have in that box without compromising it. That's the key. Without still having the message there, but framing it in a way that people today can understand. The Buddha, he says that you got to speak the language. You got to speak the language if you want to communicate with them. So that's that's pretty much the secret for me. Just understanding the trends, learning what's shareable, and being authentic. Because when you're authentic, you set yourself apart from others. You're you.
Right, right.
And
I
people that
agree.
are
There's no. No, go
exactly.
ahead.
I was going to say, no, there's never been a statue erected for a conformist, for a critic, for anybody negative. There are statues erected for people that go their own path. They create their
Right.
own way.
That's awesome. Okay, so last question. What do you recommend to people who are looking to find their purpose? What are 4 things that you can recommend for people who are out there and they're like, I am going through life and I just don't, like, maybe I kind of know what it is and maybe I don't have a clue what it is. Like, what do you recommend in terms of getting to that point of knowing what your purpose is?
Wow. That is a very good question. Wow. I'm actually working on a piece now, and I say something very interesting in this piece. I say Martin Luther King was wrong. He didn't have a dream. That dream had him. It was his. It was born in his heart, and he had the courage to go and be his truest self, his truest version. So it's less about finding, okay, what do I want to do? It's about finding you first. So look inward. I would say. There's a bunch of books that you can look into on. I guess one of my favorite books is the Tao Te Ching, Book of the Way, an ancient Chinese text. Some say it's the wisest book ever written. The Tao, that's spelled with the TaoTeching. So I'd say books are key, not only in finding out who you are, but in separating yourself from the competition.
Right.
I mean, I think it's Warren Buffett that said, the more you learn, the more you earn. The more you read, you are gonna. I would turn this, show you my bookcase right now. So many texts, but I'm interested in it. It's not things that I need to learn this. I mean, yeah, you've got that aspect, but do stuff that you can, do things that you enjoy doing, or else you're not going to do it.
Right.
So that's one. I'd say, books, teachings, goodness. Just learning about the 4 things.
Don't feel pressure. Don't feel pressure. I think that's good. I think books definitely. I think, like you said, learning who you are and what lights you up inside. Steve Harvey just said something very similar to that, which is it's not about your passion, what you're passionate about. It's like what you're good at. Like, what are you good at? And then how do you turn that into your purpose? And then in addition to that, so I know that you just said like books and people, but like who influences you? Because I think that's super important too. Yeah, absolutely. Mentors are great. I think it's a bit of an echo. Is that me? Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Mentors are essential. Finding people that can teach you, right? That is essential for finding your purpose, because they've been through. I say this, and it kind of goes back to books, but it goes to people as well. There's no problem that you're going to face in your life that hasn't been figured out by somebody else. And they've written a book about how to overcome it.
Yes.
Or they've experienced it, and they can teach you. They can tell you these things. So books, mentors, self-discovery, looking inside of you, figuring out what does make you happy. Because happiness, they say success gives you happiness, but truly happiness brings you success. So looking inward. Let's see, last one. Really enjoying the moment, being here now. Nobody in history has ever been able to hold on to a moment. These moments are so beautiful. They say the true tragedy in life is not in how much we suffer, but in how much we miss. There's so much beauty in life that we just miss, and we have to enjoy the now. We can't always be thinking, I need to be there. There's so much beauty here now. So many things that we can be grateful for now. So gratitude is huge.
Yeah.
Developing a spirit a spirit of gratitude. I was telling my friend the other day how many good deeds did we do in our past lives to be here now, to have this opportunity to breathe in and out, without, we're not consciously breathing in and out. The breath just comes, and without it, we would die. So much gratitude in the world, and to just be here now, I think you have to be here in order to create the best possible future. You have to appreciate it. Or I don't think God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, will allow you to attain these things that you want until you can appreciate what you have now.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's so important, is appreciation and gratitude, because so many times we focus on the negative, like, oh my God, this happened, this happened, this happened. But like, what about all of the positive things that are happening to you? And then building off of that, I think that's super important. So yes. Yeah, thank you so much. Like, I think this was super informative. I think our audience got a lot out of it. If you guys missed it, you want to see the replay, it'll be on 7am.life. And let us know, how can we contact you? How can we support you? How can we be a part of your social media community? Where do we find you? As if we already don't know. How do we find you?
Listen, I would love people to follow me, to find me, to go on the journey with me, because I'm learning. I'm not perfect, but everything is Prince EA. YouTube.com/Prince EA, Facebook.com/Prince EA. The only thing that's not Prince EA is Instagram. That's Prince_EA. Somebody stole Prince EA before I could grab it. I think they want to sell it back to me. I'm thinking that's usually what happens.
The hustle.
But, gotta hustle.
I don't need it. Perfect. So, yeah. Well, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. And if you guys don't know, log on to 7am.live to see this interview, or a replay of this interview. And I will definitely be keeping in touch and talking to you again soon. So thank you so much.
I enjoyed this. I love your energy. Shout out to 7am. Follow that. I want everybody. I'm gonna definitely get this out there so people can support such a bright spirit. Thank you again for inviting me on.
Thank you. Take care.